I think that worked out as well as we could possibly expect on 30 seconds notice. Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello.
We're live. Oh, no, we're being interrupted. Yeah, we'll get better at that. Sorry. On this week's Animal Instinct show for Thursday, April 21st, guess what? We're going to talk about Cuba again.
Oh,
specific to Carnival Cruise Lines. Cuba bypassed an anniversary this past week. Floatopia happened. Miami Beach is pissed off about it. Is Hialeah to blame? Sweetwater canned somebody, an officer of all people. I couldn't personally believe that. Is Hialeah to blame? April 20th happened. Magic City has a magic number. We talk about some sports stuff really, really quickly. And then we ask you, then we beg you for money. So how was your week, Rhino?
Better than expected.
Oh, we didn't even do proper introduction. Oh, I'm Badger.
Rhino Garcia.
Oh, yeah. All right. That was better than. So, how have you been, man? That's the best as we can expect, man. When you're above the dirt, not shoveling in the dirt, and you're not in it, it's a good day, right? So, more news about Cuba. As you understood. Yeah, far-fetched notion. So Carnival decided to do an about face on their we can't take Cuban national dirty, but apparently there was a Carnival, I guess whether you call it because of political pressure, because it was the right thing to do, they said everybody on. And not only that, they said if Cuba, we're still talking with Cuba, and if they don't let us sail with the Cuban nationals on board or post disembark, although that part was never spoken, I personally could not find any news on that portion, whether these people get tossed into jail once they step foot in. It's Havana, Cienfuegos, and Santiago de Cuba. Ports of call. Carnival's going. Again, it's their subsidiary, Fathom. So, what do you got to say about that?
Makes more sense for them.
That's the thing. Country or not, bottom line is the bottom dollar. Better or worse? Them that we got. Now there were a couple of other issues here. There was an emotional tirade by American Bar Association. Talk again, Rhino, for a second. Picked up. Oh. Post production. Sorry, just speak louder.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're getting picked up now. So there were lawsuits last week that were filed that we went over very briefly.
Yeah, still think it's.
Yeah, so there's a civil lawsuit and then there's the class action, and lawyers spoke out for both of those. I have it in the show notes links. You can read about them yourselves. I wrote wait. Gonna go on forever. The City of Coral Gables Commission passed a resolution advising the county to block Carnival from using the port. So there's your political pressure. Everybody was still pissed off, because it's Miami and it's like, all right, look, hey, Carnival did an about face, so we can act normal and humanitarian, right? No, it's Miami. It's Cubans.
It just goes that whole thing. Everybody wants equality, but they want it the way
on their terms.
That kind of stuff. Like this is going back to like the baker who didn't want to make the gay cake, Like, he has every right to turn down business. Or in this case, there's a political issue involved with a foreign nation. To me, I thought they were doing the right thing. It's like, hey, look, man, just letting you know, before you spend $2,000 plus, if you're Cuban, there's a good chance you're not getting off this ship to step on that island because of laws that have nothing to do with them. But, you know, like you were saying, it's Miami, and we got to be theatrical about everything. Because I don't think the rest of the country gives a shit. So.
That's the thing about this is, whether through ignorance, and I think that goes to we covered last week. It's like, can you imagine if we would have allowed these people to travel all this time? Because people from England, you know, they're still international travel. People are interested in going to Cuba. Now, I've never heard any reports from individuals that have traveled to Cuba through plus years that the Castro brothers have been in power. But I can't imagine that what they saw, they were much in awe over. You know, again, with the caveat, probably only visited tourist restricted area.
Right.
It's I understand more the pain based on the follow-up story that of the video that you posted. It was the 55th anniversary of the Bay of Pigs invasion. It was April 17th, 1961, when the whole the operation put into effect. CIA trained a bunch of dissidents that were, from what I understood, both reading Wikipedia and through the YouTube video, there were a number of brigades. The video itself, and we'll link to the show notes, talks about brigade number 2506. They suffered 114 casualties altogether when all was said and done. The popular story that I learned growing up is that a group of anti-Fidel fighters, like I said, trained by the CIA, led a charge whose point of entry was the Bay of Pigs, with the end result in mind of toppling now the Fidel-led government, the Fidel-organized government, because, as we all know, Fidel, when he came into power, the pitch that he sold was that, you know, we need to democratize. But even more, Batista is a tyrant, and he was.
Oh, absolutely.
People just like people. There were no due process of law rights. Cuba under Batista's regime. So CIA trains these guys. They go into the Bay of Pigs. Apparently, we learned decades later that there were leaks all over the world about this. The KGB knew that the invaders were coming. The landing zone was compromised, and the U.S. pulled air support altogether.
Yeah.
In the video, there was one guy saying he asked about air support, and the CIA guy in charge of, when I told you not to worry about that, we've got it under. Stop asking about that. Stop asking about your military experience. What do you feel? I mean, I should say, having the military background there.
You look at the video and you hear these guys talk. And from the moment, maybe it's given the experience in the American military, but it happens a lot too, where we'll go to other nations and we'll kind of train guys to take care of their own, the Iraqi army or, in Asia or whatever. The moment the guy was telling the story, I was already sniffing, and that video was probably the first time I got more in depth into the Bay of Pig and started reading it, because, you go to social studies and, world geography and stuff, and they talk about it and they just skim over it. Yep. It's like, oh, we lost. All right. And that's it. But they don't tell you about, these guys. The moment he was explaining that, the CIA was involved and they were training them, and based on the training he was getting, I was like, oh man, you guys were doomed to fail. Asking the questions, and then the guy getting irate or getting a little belligerent, not belligerent, but defensive about, don't worry about air support. Yeah. And it's like, yo, these guys, you're doing them a favor. You're saying, hey, we want to go in there and topple the Castro regime or whatever. And they're like, hell yeah, you guys know the island. Why not? And we're going to give you all this support. And then for Washington to fail them the way that they did, or Washington, D.C. to fail them the way they did was insane. All because they had the manpower. U.S. obviously had the manpower to do it, but they just chose to abandon these guys, which was exactly what it was. They got freaking abandoned. There was no... It wasn't like a real American executed mission or military mission where if it's a Marine, Navy unit, Army unit, whatever, where, hey, man, we're pinned down. We need air support, which is like the main thing if you're a foot soldier is, fuck, I'm caught between a rock and a hard place. I need air support right now. And the only restriction you got is if you're danger close, and these guys will pull you out. Copy. So, yeah, the moment the guy was explaining the story.
Everybody's favorite, Patty.
You should do like the lipstick of the day. That was the question that was asked.
Andrew, we will think of you here in spirit. So the thing that in Patton that's my favorite military movie. Patton, and they talked about how Patton went to the chaplain and pray for good weather because we need the air support. We're going to go in.
Yeah. Air support's where it's at. As much as we talk crap about our air wingers, man, when they come flying, and we love those guys, man. I mean, we'll still talk trash after we're into that. But during the process, those guys are the shit.
That I've heard other of your brothers in arms say it's like, we all rib each other. We're all in the brotherhood and all that. But when it comes down to the shit, I mean, we all know that we're in it together. Yeah. There was a guy at the end. I forget his name. He was one of the marquee. He said at the end, he goes, that was the proudest day of my life, the proudest moment of my life. And I had a 50-year marriage. I have 3 children. Yeah. And he goes, but there was something about Cuba. He goes, that was our moment to regain what it is that we had in Cuba. And this is the stuff that I've asked all my relatives about. He became very emotional. Yeah. And yesterday, in talking with Patty, I had this connection with this particular man. And I understand more the plight of the Cubans because of this documentary, which, again, thank you for posting it. Man, they lost their country, and nobody thought that it was possible. We're going through this same thing here in this country, and I feel this great sense of frustration that things are not right. There's a particular way to do things. You know, the Cubans took care of themselves. And this whole notion that you can feed undereducated people all these promises, and then, you know, if you just fight, if you just topple the white guy or the people in power with four, you know, we put our guns up against theirs. There's so many more of us. You'll see everything will be better. I promise. And it's never been that, man. I keep reiterating it. 6,000 years of just the written portions of human interaction. That system. Yeah. I don't know why it is that we.
I wanted to link another video with it, which was the other perspective. So not just the I didn't forgot to link it, but it was the Cuban fighters' perspective, the ones fighting the guys in the Bay of Pigs, the ones fighting the Brigade 1506.
So the former rebels, the guys that were now
and
the government guys,
they still believe that, you know, hey, we won, we beat them. And it's like, yeah, you technically did win that battle, but the war on communism, I mean, you clearly lost that. There's no way you can tell me that there was a lady who was being interviewed saying that, oh, well, we have education, we have healthcare. It's like, yeah, but you don't have freedom. You know, it's weird to tell people, but you would gladly give up all that government, hey, give me this, if you don't have freedom. Hey, give me the free will to do what I need to do and to survive. And man, humans are resilient, man. When you put them in a bind, they'll figure a way out. You can't say that, you know, what's going to happen if I don't get my government surplus. I think me and you talked about this before, is like people that are poor, me being one of them or have been one of them, you find a way to get money. You find a way to survive, because if not, you die.
Yeah. And nobody wants to die.
You know. And
that seems to be the constant, regardless creed, class, or, you know, whatever colorful adjective you want to throw up there. Nobody wants to die. Yeah. And people figure out ways.
Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die.
Right. Well, on that note, a bunch of Cubans that agreed with our stances all floated into Miami Beach this past weekend at Floatopia. Just kidding. No, Floatopia happened.
Yeah.
The bikini-clad people that you see in the Miami Vice that we swear doesn't happen. Well, it actually happened. They they were in one particular location this week. And then it rained,
Right.
and everybody left. And then Mayor Levine from New York went, "What the fuck?" And one of the commissioners did one of these YouTube, Facebook, like, "Look what was left behind." So how do you fix that? I mean, we just read now a few minutes ago that the Miami Beach city manager, had proposed some things because this was not the first Floatopia that Miami Beach hosted.
This is what, their third or fourth or something like that?
This was their third or fourth. Yeah, it seems like they host it every 6 months or so.
That's right. I kept assuming it was every year, but I was like, man, this one came a little...
Yeah, everything I've read. The last one, I think, was either August or September of last year. And, all right, okay, almost a year. Months have passed. And he put a number of proposals. They increased the number of police officers, the number of cleanup crew. They did, things right. They closed down just the right places. He also estimated that there were 100,000 people at the Floatopia, and the New Times article that we read off of itself was skeptical, which...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I would.
They said, look, man, 91,000 people live in Miami Beach altogether. That there were 100,000 people from South Point to 10th Street or to 12th Street. No, we're not quite buying that. Yeah. And when they put it in that term, notion, people you could fit down there. It seemed plausible.
Are they counting babies?
Yeah, really. So they left this mess, and it started raining, and only Hialeahans are.
Yeah.
Only we know who the people from Hialeah were there because they left all their garbage, and apparently they filled like 9 garbage. And again, the same New Times article pointed out, yeah, but you're not including the volunteer pickup, which is significant. Couple of places, couple of sources. My question. Yeah, the cleanup is bad, but is it any worse than the number of dead black people that are left behind after Hip Hop Weekend? Oh, we did it! That's it! That's the most racist thing that we've said on this show! We won! Okay. We just singled out the University of...
Well, it's only fitting.
Oh, we're fine.
Be fine.
Yeah. I mean, if they forgot about Kobe's rape charges and accepted his retirement, I mean, why not forget about our racial?
So everything's fine now. I mean, it took from like 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. on Monday. They cleaned up by 10 a.m. And I think they had done some cleanup the night. It's fine. So the mayor wants, Mayor Levine, we can make sure that it is so aggressively managed that this will not occur again. Want to basically blockade the beach, it sounds like, but they don't own it. The county does.
The counties, yeah.
That's a little problematic. Just like the mayor wanted to bring in a, Cuban consulate. And a city of Miami commissioner stepped up and said, yeah, look, that's federal government. You can't put a consulate unless the Department of State.
What agenda do you think Levine's got, man? Because he keeps taking advantage of all these little moments to push his publicity, I guess. You think he's trying to shoot for something bigger?
I think he's for governor. Or strong mayor, at least, over Jimenez's job.
I'm curious as to how different is Floatopia to Spring Break in Miami? Or any other
is Spring Break really that? I mean, Spring Break just passed, and I don't remember any hang-ups occurring here. I mean, that wasn't a major. That was a blip on the radar.
Or like you said, the Memorial Day weekend. Same thing, hip hop weekend or whatever.
Hip hop weekend is bad. And to compare hip hop weekend, police activity for Floatopia, 2 arrests.
Yeah.
Versus 2 arrests like the morning of
What's crazy is
hip hop
that
weekend.
The Memorial Day hip hop, there is a lot of volunteers from the county. Because when it happened, or it's actually going to come up again, Memorial Day weekend, and they'll ask us to volunteer if we want to volunteer to police the streets or be pretty much, what is it in Cuba? Comité de Defensa, being the snitches. Like, hey, there is an issue happening here, and they call the cops or whatnot.
I don't know. It's over. I think his Jewish heritage has something to do with it because, being Jewish is like the old white Cuban. Oh, by the way, those Cubans that were interviewed for that spoke impeccable Spanish.
Yeah.
The roughneck Cuban Spanish. If your education system is great and that's the result today is the Cubans that are coming over, that's nothing to gloat about. But getting back to Levine, they take care of their own, and it's a largely Jewish community. There are standards that people that are successful, if they want to blockade the beach, buy it from the county. I don't know what to tell you. Then do whatever you want. Look up the tragedy of the commons. This is an economic phenomenon. I had posted it originally on the Animal Instincts Facebook page. People to look this up. It says basically that anything that is taken care of by the government, anything is communal property like that, will eventually disintegrate because everybody develops the mindset of,
right,
opposed to me owning a strip of the beach. Well, get the fuck off my beach. I'm the one that has to clean up after you, unless you want to pay a toll of some sort, and then you can use my property.
Yeah.
In order to, which part of it, would be to pay my strip of beach beautiful, because my private strip of beach versus the public piece of shit that neighboring me on either side. People are going to come on my beat, want to come onto. Okay, deep breath. Now, everybody in Hialeah left Miami Beach, left all their shit behind.
Yeah.
And then a guy who used to live in Hialeah was working for Sweetwater as a cop.
Oh.
So anyway, some cop blew through a stop sign during an emergency. The protocol in Sweetwater, approaching any intersection, slow, gauge traffic, and then you safely proceed through, even when your lights and
right.
You have to be careful going through the. I'm remiss to say that I don't know if this is a state ordinance, but Sweetwater police chief said yes, policy. So the cop was actually behind another police car, an SUV that went through that did follow this protocol that I just described. A couple of seconds later, all this is caught on film, by the way. I'm sorry, I forgot to preface it with. The cruiser, regular police cruiser, then just plows through as a pickup truck is continuing on his green light passage in this intersection. And he actually... the issue is that the police officer said that on the report that he slowed down. He followed protocol. Yeah. He was busted for it. Kudos on the administration, but my question is, how much of a piece of shit is this cop that they actually fired a cop? I'm sorry, he wasn't fired. He was disciplined without pay, which is astonishing in today's day and age in South Florida police force. What are your thoughts on that?
The funny part that I thought was that they caught him with a red light camera. And how there's
that are on the way out, right?
That it's like, okay, so people are fighting these tickets. Is he going to use the argument that, hey, I have the right to face my accuser? That red light camera, I can't argue with a robot. So I wonder, brother was here, it'd be nice to figure out what the laws are when it comes to that. But, it's. I thought that was the craziest irony. I was like, look at that, man. It's you got snitched by your own equipment.
By your own equipment. It's like, yeah, we're here to catch her. This stuff is here to protect the public. Yeah. Wait, I'm supposed to control the body cam. Yeah. No, this was a red light cam, dude. Yeah, so this cop also worked. His name is like Ram.
Yeah, he worked at South Miami.
He worked at South Miami, and he ran up a bunch of shit. He kept crashing into people. Apparently, as a South Miami cop. So his disciplinary action was, look, you're basically going to retire because you want to keep benefits. And I know that that's what you want to do in order to keep your benefits. So I'm going to turn around. By the time I get back to my office, I'm going to find your resignation letter on my desk, right? I'll see you later. I can't tell you what to do.
Yeah.
So he did that. And he was immediately hired, as far as we know.
Isn't that crazy?
His next job is as a cop. Yeah. Another municipality in the same community. Yeah. Not to say same South Miami.
Yeah, but in Miami.
But in Miami, man, it's the same county. Yeah, that's crazy. Look, this guy is a bad cop, and like I said, what I'm interested in is the PBA president hasn't said anything.
Yeah.
At least
the infamous
the one that told the civil patrol board or whatever they're called, whatever order you put on, fuck you, we're not going to follow any orders, we're the cops.
It'd be interesting to see what his comments are on this.
Mysteriously silent because I'm sure Officer Ramos has paid his due to the benevolence association. So.
And it doesn't surprise me at Sweetwater, man. Those guys have a bad rep of being shady anyway. Them and Doral, but not all the guys in Doral are bad. Just overachievers when it comes to giving tickets. Like, come on, man, really? It's 41 and a 40. You're gonna give me a ticket?
The tax.
Yeah.
Strictly to raise money.
Yeah.
Next thing, yesterday was April 20th.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I'm told that this is somehow linked to the 420 numerical connection is linked to marijuana use somehow.
Yeah, Hitler was a big pot smoker.
Okay.
No, it was his birthday, though. It was Hitler's birthday.
Was it really?
Yeah. I'm sure if he would have smoked a little weed, the Holocaust would have been a little bit different.
I like it.
There's no connection. In true stoner fashion, the popular perception of stoners is that these guys have no brain cells, and they're like, yeah, man, great. And that I heard once that this couple started this whole thing over somewhere in California. It was at 420 they just started this tradition, and then the internet happened, and now it's true.
Yeah. So I think it was what was it, the Waldos or something like that? That's what they called themselves. Ought to find a treasure map of a weed plant that was planted somewhere, which I thought was an amazing story. And I was like, here's this treasure map, 420, and that was their code to let's hang out and smoke and get together, and the equivalent of saying white girl or something when referencing coke or whatever.
The chat room's awfully cool.
It's not
because they're fucking just getting sober from yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, if they would have ate as cheesy as like I did, they'd be fine. But
ta-da! So the problem with smoking pot is that you can't then afford to live in Miami.
Yeah.
Based on this, what is it called? A study that came out.
Yeah, it was. It's there on the link. The actual study that CBS and all these guys used. It was the 50 states and based on income and what you actually really need to live comfortably in these particular cities. I guess it was like the 50 most popular cities. Is that what it was?
Go banking rates.
Yeah.
The name of
GoBankingRates.com.
And they said that in order for you to live in Miami, you need to make $77,057.
Yep.
Now that's based on this 50-30-20 rule that 50% of your income should be necessities,
right,
like rent and utilities and groceries, transportation, healthcare. 5, I think. Those are necessities. You need that stuff in order to survive. So they took average cost of the average cost of those items put together and doubled it basically because the other 30%, 20% discretionary income,
savings.
20% in savings. All right, in order for you to achieve all that, you need to make $77,057, which means it costs $38,000 change, for you to just get by. In my average, there it is, $38,529. The median income in Miami is $30,858. And you take the $77,000 figure, there's a $46,000 discrepancy, which was the largest discrepancy across America.
They have the largest gap between 50 cities.
The things I'll call foul on is that bank rates didn't disclose how it is that they came to their figures. Discretionary income, I guess. I mean, you can blow 30% of your salary, percent of it. Okay, that's one part. You just take.
What's crazy?
And the ratio, the $46,000 hard number is the big.
Yeah.
But ratio compared to.
Yeah, I would have thought the cost of living would have been around $46,000. I thought that was not, in order to live comfortably, you need $77,000, which is, I think, the going rate for entry-level engineers here in South Florida compared to other states where engineers get paid more.
I did the math. It was, you have to make $38 an hour, $38.50 an hour in order to get this $77,000. Remember, this is before taxes. You include taxes in that. You know, your tax rate, your spendable income is going to be depending on. We're having mic issues. Depending on how much you're making. But I don't know. I think this study's a little bit of a red herring.
Yeah.
I think I don't think it's a true representation of Miami, which, like we said, we know it's expensive to live. I live here. I don't get to play here.
Yeah.
And this study helps buttress that argument a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is a little excessive. I mean, I'm sure the Panama Papers somehow plays into this because the people that aren't paying their taxes are making it impossible for us to live here. Anything else you want to add to that? Do you wish that you were making $77,000 a year? I think I'd be living pretty fucking large at $77,000.
No, I wouldn't give a shit about making. I would rather everything just cost less.
Right. That's the other side of the argument, right? It's like, so there you go. Minimum wage then, in order just for you to make it in Miami. Yeah. So I said $38.50.
Yeah.
Great. So $19.50 an hour should be the minimum wage in Miami. All right. Are you listening, Mayor Jimenez?
I wish I had that picture. It's like, pay me $50 an hour. I have no idea about economics. Fucking A, man.
That's not going to fix anything, man. Yeah. Everybody was able, for the longest time before the Federal Reserve came around, everybody was able to afford everything.
Yeah.
Your earning power actually went up from the time that the Constitution was enacted until 1913, when the first federal income tax and the Federal Reserve was established. Money went up in purchasing power by 8%. 100 and change history. Everything was fine, and people, everything was fine after Louis Pasteur discovered germ warfare. I wouldn't want to have a toothache back then, right? But yeah, more laws.
Yeah, that's all that's gonna happen.
More laws. This is inequality at its best.
I'm curious if how much longer he's got. I mean, you would think as a county employee, I would know.
Who?
Jimenez.
I think he's up this term.
Is it?
I don't know when the term is up, but I don't think he can run again.
I'm curious to see if they'll take another 4%
There's a
salary.
12-year term limit. I don't know who thought up with that. I think I voted for that, actually.
Did you?
I remember when that was up. It's like, oh, should there be a strong mayor? It'll have a 12-year term. Yeah, okay.
Were you also the one who voted for Pinellas' extra 1%?
I have no idea how economics works. That's how I was back then.
Yeah, it's only, yeah.
I don't know what voting means, but I can do it.
Man.
Well, now on to our sports section.
How are we on time, man?
We're doing really freaking good because people have short attention span. Yeah. We're at 37 minutes, and we're already in the sports section, people. Anything else you want to add, let us know. The Miami Heat, they're 2-0 in the playoffs. Yeah, looks like they're going to sweep these people, man. I mean, they did what you call hold serve at home.
Yeah.
We'll see how they react in Charlotte. Yeah, man. Got 75% field goals in the first half. Remarkable. They set records for the most points in any half. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Most points, I think, in the first half. The any half statistic was reference to the field goal shoot. But it looks like they're going to blow these people out of the way.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think they have an answer. Charlotte has an answer
for
these
money
guys.
On the Heat.
And everybody, some of the realists where they're like, yeah, we didn't do that great against Charlotte, especially toward the end. We just lost that. They blew that home game against Charlotte after they had the big lead. But Florida Panthers evened up their series against the Islanders. I have no idea how that's going to go. I've watched like one game, and they were kicking the Islanders' ass, but they ended up losing that game.
Yeah.
Funny bounce. The Marlins, they won today, but they still kind of suck. I think Jose pitched the other day, and he didn't have the greatest game. The relief that came in for him of a grand slam to Bryce Harper. That's his second grand slam of the season. That guy's an incredible player. Giancarlo finally started hitting home runs. He has fewer home runs than strikeouts, though.
Oh, man. Were you there at that game?
On Saturday.
Yeah, that was the same one that I was in?
Yeah, that he did this. Shit, I didn't want to knock over my coffee. He did this the last at bat.
Man, it's like I started getting into that guy because my buddy's like, look, man, this guy's awesome. So I'm reading up on him, and I was like, holy shit, this guy's the shit. And then seeing that happen at the end, I was like, I don't know if I like this guy anymore. Yeah, I'm going to give him a few more chances, but fuck, why'd we give him that much money? So.
That's the thing. And, players get criticized for that. I don't know if this is a consistent phenomenon that when a professional athlete makes his big payday, whether there is necessarily a drop-off in performance or because it's an effect kind of like, we think more about natural disasters because we get the news faster. Yeah. There's more scrutiny. More eyes are on Giancarlo Stanton because of the big contract. Yeah. And that's a signal like to people that don't follow the Marlins. That's like a signal to all the out-of-market baseball, these fringe baseball fans. It's like, well, he must be good if he's making that much money.
Right.
Which kicks into the law of supply and demand. Funny how people understand that when some other guy gets rich.
I didn't know how much money he was making. I just saw his arms, and I was like, man, that guy has fucking huge arms. He must be fucking hitting home runs all the time.
I was sitting in the upper deck behind him on opening night, and he could have reached up and high-fived me. This guy's big, man. It's enormous. Let's see. The Marlins were at Miami FC has a game coming up, but I think it's a road game, and I don't even know it's again. So better luck there. UM baseball, was carryover stuff from the last episode. Yeah. I guess they're still number one, and I guess they're still the best baseball in town. I'm supposed to go to a game at Mark Light Stadium soon. My brother-in-law is planning to take my godson to a game, so I'm trying to make it out. I've never been to that stadium. Which Alex Fernandez, hey, we love that he took steroids because a lot of money went into renovating that stadium. So you guys that hate Alex Fernandez for steroids, screw you guys if you're a UM fan. You love it.
Yeah.
And then we have UFC. I always was of the impression that UFC was kind of like these fringe things, but I guess there is a following in Miami. I mean, we have enough people in our circle alone, that we have that are huge fight fans. So take it away, Rhino.
Okay, so the big news was McGregor on his Twitter wrote that he was retiring, that he was pulling out of UFC 200, which was a big rematch against Nate Diaz. Now, if I don't know if you caught the last fight, but Nate Diaz is taller than him. He has longer length, longer reach. Didn't train for his fight at all. He didn't have a camp. He did train, obviously, but he didn't have a training camp. And McGregor, obviously has a phenomenal training camp and gained weight to fight this guy. And McGregor gained weight to fight Nate Diaz, and he lost by jiu-jitsu. He lost by a choke. Which and I think that night there was the same thing. Everybody got choked out that day. It was great for Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So he was set to fight Nate Diaz again for UFC 200 to get his title, or to win the title off of Nate Diaz again. And he writes a tweet. I think it was yesterday or the day before, that he's retiring. He said, "Hey, I'm retiring young. Thanks for the cheese," and that's it. And at the same time, you got CM Punk, which I didn't see fight ever. I think you mentioned that he was scheduled for something, and he says, "Well, I guess I'm retiring. Oh, thanks for the Reeboks." And then Nate Diaz announced that he was retiring. Now, based off the sources that I read, it obviously seems like CM Punk is joking, and Nate Diaz as well. There's no reason this guy's going to he would be nuts to retire, especially just winning the title that he won against McGregor. McGregor then clarified, I don't know if you can pull it up so we can pull this statement. He says, I guess we can read it real quick. I am trying to do my job and fight here. I am paid to fight. I am not yet paid to promote. I have become lost in the game of promotion and forgot about the art of fighting. There comes a time when you need to stop handing out flyers and get back to the damn shop. He keeps going on in the rant, but to narrow it down, to make a long story longer, he says he's not retiring, but he wants to focus more on the fighting. He's tired of doing all these press junkets and promoting, and he's a fucking phenomenal promoter. Obviously, he did the world tour, and
he's a promoter of him,
right? And the fight as well. He's a hell of a promoter with all of that, and they put $10 million in the budget for this guy to go promote UFC 200.
Damn.
And what he was putting towards his loss was not just the fact that he jumped up in weight, but that they were so focused on him doing that world tour that he did, like with Aldo, the fight before, and then with this one that he's promoting like crazy, that he was so focused on that he didn't get to train the way he wanted to, which I think. And it's true. I would agree. This guy didn't get as much training as I think he should have gotten, especially since he was going up in weight class, which is nuts. You normally need a year when you go up in weight class like that if you're going to attempt to do anything like that. And I think for the most part, there's not too many winners from guys that have jumped up in weight and actually won a title belt or something.
I think that's true for boxing too.
Right.
It's just the pugilistic arts is.
I think he could have done
man.
it. I think this guy is fucking phenomenal, and he's wild, and his he's taking he has a movement coach and all of that, and I think he could have done it. I think he probably could have been one of the best ones at it too, but he's absolutely right. I don't think he had time to focus on training. I think I forgot I can't recall who he was going to fight, and Nate Diaz came out of nowhere, and he still took the fight anyways. I think it was like months left, and Nate Diaz took the fight the first time, so. He was pissed off with them, and then the UFC responded with saying that he pulled out. He didn't pull out. They let him go because he refused to do promotions. And it was like, no way, bro. This guy makes you. I think he made him well over $200 million on the last few fights or something like that. It's like you're not gonna let this fucking guy go. You're gonna want to keep this guy on the team, and you're going to do everything you can to keep him there. And I don't think there's anything wrong with him saying he was still down to do UFC 200. It was like, yeah, I'll still do it, but you guys got to let me train. he'll still go to the press junket, the main one that they do, I think, in Vegas or whatnot.
Mhm.
And then he was going to go, I think, to, was it Brazil or Germany or one of those where his training camp was at and just fucking train. So I don't think, I haven't read up today, the follow-up to see if this is just going to be a big spectacle and they're finally going to let him do it. I know this guy, White over at the UFC said that it's too late for McGregor to get on the UFC 200 fight, but man, you never know, man. This guy will,
the guy's enjoyable. I love Irish guys.
Hell yeah,
as it is,
man. And the following this guy has, man. In the last fight, when he beat Aldo, the amount of Irish people that were in what is it, the MGM?
Was it Vegas? Yeah.
Dude, they were just on tables, just dumping. This guy has a huge fucking following, and they're nuts. So,
Irish guys are fighters, coal miners,
drinkers,
writers. They're actually one of the best writers.
Yeah.
There's a phenomenon, I don't know why, from the 19th century on, the Irish have cranked out wonderful authors. I don't know what link there might be. But yeah, and they invented the greatest beer ever.
Yeah. Well,
Arthur.
I hope he does fight.
What
else we got?
That was it. That's the sports section. We're coming into the home stretch here. I noticed that Fins Fan 2006 is on. Hey, Fins Fan, I got something for you. Just take a look here.
Oh my God!
I found Neil Rogers' soundboard online.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Oh my! Oh my!
Yeah, after this episode, we're gonna have fun with this.
Oh my God! Oh my God! All right, where the hell? Look, I was so excited that my erection pinning me to my chair here. All right, we're getting into the food and drink and events. You said you went back to Miss Cheesiest this week?
Yeah, yesterday.
No, just yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay. Was it any different than the first time?
To the point, it was a lot better this one particular time because of reasons. Ate the chicken and waffle sandwich again. Probably one of my favorites. I just really love chicken and waffles, man. These guys, if they want to endorse the show and just somebody's got chicken and waffles out there and want to sponsor us and just give me chicken and waffles, man. I'm good. I mean, you give Badger money, chicken and waffles for me.
All right,
I'm good with that.
So, how much did your bill cost?
30, man.
Actually, it was 30. me and two.
That's
other
what the
guys.
guy said, man.
Yeah. Me and two other guys.
Yeah.
I covered their.
30, man. Are you sure?
But it was good. I've been to that particular Miss Cheesiest so much from the moment that they opened that they already recognize me. And the whole time it's like, oh, it's the beard. I was like, no, it's the face. We recognize you already. He goes, you are one of our number one customers. I was like, oh, all right, cool.
Yeah, because Opie's been out of the national ethos now.
Yeah. Well, I think he's doing a show
year.
called Outsiders, which Mountain Men sort of thing.
Does he still kind of look like Opie?
Yeah,
the actor.
He looks exactly
just like
Opie. He gets on a 4-wheeler instead of an actual bike.
Instead of a bike.
In the mountains riding ATVs. So yeah, it's fucking Opie. Just more deliverance. Just yeah. He's more deliverance on that one. But yeah, he still looks like Opie, man.
More food facts. For tomorrow, there is a food festival or a food truck rally at Tropical Park tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's by the people who do the one here at Pinecrest Village. I forget their name. Food Truck Invasion. It is not theirs. It's some other company, but it's out there, I guess, starting at 6 o'clock, and it goes on until
the last Friday of the month?
No, it's the fourth Friday. That I remember very vividly. It is this particular production is the fourth Friday.
So it is food invasion
of every month,
invasion.
And we happen to have a week break in between that one tomorrow. And since the following Friday is like the 29th, the first Friday is the one in
which I won't
Pinecrest
be here
Village
for that one.
I'll
be here for the podcast on Thursday, but I won't be here Friday.
Fair enough.
Heading to Disney.
We mentioned last week to continue with events, there was a foundation called the Be Courage Burn Foundation. These are friends of mine and Patty's. These are people that I actually know. 1 degree of separation. They had a rough period. Their daughter was severely burned once upon her lifetime. There was a real touch and go moment. They are very open, and it's very touching that they've decided to open their lives, and that's why they call it the Be Courage Foundation. They discovered that many people, they're ashamed or they just don't speak out when things like this happen, especially children, their own children. So they said, this is not right. We're standing up. They got through the bad situation. Their daughter, Leilani, which I'm naming because her name is on the website. Right. It's not because I'm perving out on anybody. Just a wonderful organization. They've helped a couple of 100 burn victims throughout the country so far. I mentioned that Louis, Leilani's father, he's enlisted in the military. And when Leilani was in ICU, when he found out what happened, he rushed over. Honestly, I don't remember the story that he said, whether he went AWOL or maybe he asked for permission. He asked for leave. He just extended it. MPs came for him in ICU, and he told the MPs, look, you're going to have to drag me away in handcuffs because I'm not leaving my daughter and my wife during this time. And the MPs kind of stepped off, called their CO, and CO called off the dogs. So beyond just the stuff that was happening with his daughter, that would have been a stressful, that would have been awful. Yeah. If they actually would have followed through and taken him in, just another layer. There was a lot of conviction that they had to follow through on here. Yep. And I'm very happy for them that they've pulled through. They're now on the better end of the issue that they've gone through. And I urge you, if you cannot go to the barbecue on April 30th at Markham Park, please consider giving a donation. It's a well-run organization. All the information you can find online as far as information is concerned. Again, April 30th, Markham Park. We hope to see you there. Patty and I will be there, and as I understand it, in a volunteering capacity. So, like I said, please have any amount will do it. This doesn't have to be, like, well, I'm going to give my life savings. No, within reason. But anything that you can do at all to help out, please do. Our promotional consideration portion, I used to love Lord Alfred Hayes when he said that. Speaking of WWE and the death of China today. Yeah. Rest in peace. Promotional consideration paid for by the following, except we're not getting paid.
Nope.
Rhino Garcia Designs, run by that guy right there. Rhino, what do you do?
I think the what don't I do is shorter. Jack of all trades, master of one maybe, but I do pretty much everything. It's a lot of. I started including the carpentry and woodworking in there too, just so it's not so focused just on, artisan work. Just sculptures and paintings and, wall installs or whatever. But also, woodworking and pergola builds and barbecue setups and stuff like that. It's not just strictly doing painting or Winwood stuff. But a little bit of everything, man. That's why it's called Rhino Garcia Design, not Rhino Garcia Arts or something.
Okay, so it's a little more all-encompassing.
Yeah.
All right.
What the hell else do we have here? Oh, if you want to give to us as we're closing out here, patreon.com/Animal Instincts Show. We have a $1 per show recommendation that'll go to upgrading our equipment, to site maintenance, to being able to market the show, like for real.
Yeah.
As an alternative to giving money. We really need help. You saw that our production is I think this is about as far as we're going to be able to stretch it without getting any real help. If you'd like to exchange any of your skills that you have for promotion on this show, we have 16 YouTube subscribers. and growing. And that's no joke. I mean, we're slowly.
We're at 16.
We're at 16.
Weren't we like 2? It was like you and me.
It was, yeah, you
Something.
meant to start with. It was. But yeah, man, that train is chugging along. So something to consider. I know that we had somebody that said that they wouldn't mind doing like, well, you put a all that.
Oh, right.
We have now.
I guess technically mosaic style.
That's it. That's exactly the term.
Yeah.
That escaped my mind. And hey, everybody, that's your show, and we're under an hour. Oh my God, we did it.
That was a first. Holy crap.
Oh my God. Oh, thank God. I feel so burned out. That was stressful.
And to think we started with 3-hour shows.
Follow us on Instagram at Animal Instinct Show, at Rhino Garcia, at Badger U. If you wish to contact us, give us show topic suggestions, join us live next time. Besides the chat room, the wonderful chat room, give yourselves a hand. You are great. Animal Instincts Show at gmail.com. You can use Google Hangouts and FaceTime if you'd ever like to be audibly connected to us during the show. That's it, man. We're out of here. Stay safe. Come on out and see us tomorrow at Tropical Park. See us next week, April 30th, Markham Park, for the Be Courage barbecue. I don't know. Don't kill anybody. I don't know. Are we supposed to do anything really PSA related?
Make sure to neuter your pets.
Make sure to spay
and neuter your pets.
Control
the animal population.
Al was here. Oh my God.
As always, thank you guys.
Please don't say the F word.
Please, they're not talking.
I will say this, they're getting funner and funner. All right.
Want a lollipop, little boy?
Time to clean this.
All right, guys. As soon as the music's over. Oh, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. Al was here.
You stupid fat faggot.
Bonjour.